So in a pressure cooker, I've got a huge piece of like flank steak. This was on sale, it was cheap. Probably, I don't know, 5 pounds or more inside there. And then here is part of a pork butt. It's not actually the ass of it, it's a shoulder, but it's about 1/3 pork butt. And I've got so I'm mixing the meats and I'm leaving the fat on and all this other stuff. Cheap, big pieces of cheap meat. This is what you want to do. So the meat that's inside here, all of it combined is maybe 15 bucks, okay? But this is going to be enough to serve, oh my God, so many people, it's not even funny. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and season it. So right now I'm putting kosher salt in here. That's probably enough. This is chili powder. This is just ground chili. This is not the pre-mixed chili powder. It's just straight up chili. I just got done putting about the same amount paprika inside there, which is nothing more than just ground up red bell peppers. Got some oregano inside there, a little bit of crushed red pepper, and cumin. So now what I'm going to do, this is pretty much going to end up being kind of like my broth for this meat. And now what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to put water inside this, because I'm putting it in a pressure cooker. If you don't have a pressure cooker, you can just use a really big pot and just boil it for a long time. Meat is interesting. When it's raw, it's kind of soft. You start cooking it, it turns tough, but if you cook it for a long period of time, it starts becoming very tender again. So that's what we're going to be trying to do, and the pressure cooker is just going to speed the process up. But you can boil it until it becomes tender, where you can pull it apart with a fork, but it can take like 4 hours to do that. So doing it in the pressure cooker, I can probably do it in maybe a quarter of that time, I'm hoping, maybe even less. We're going to find out. So now I'm going to put water in this, put the lid on, and get this guy started. Okay, so I went ahead and in the pressure cooker I let this boil for maybe an hour, hour and a half. The vast majority of it is pretty stringy and stuff, which is what I'm looking for. The pork kind of gave out before the beef did. This is what's left of the beef, but a little bit more boiling will take care of that. I also want this to reduce, but before I do, I'm going to stick a can of chopped jalapenos inside there. I got a whole bunch of green chilies, and yes, I'm putting them in there whole. And I've got some straight up tomatoes, just going to throw inside here. And I'm going to let this stuff boil and reduce. I don't want to see any more. Basically, this is going to be done when I don't really see much water left. This is going to take probably a good hour before it's done. And then I'll have to taste for salt and everything like that, but we're probably good. I almost forgot. I got my chopped green bell peppers I got to throw inside there. I almost forgot about that. Now we're going to let that reduce. So right here we've got pinto beans in a can. And I have 3 cans, but there's one of them that's already in the pot over there. And when you get pinto beans, make sure that the only ingredients in there is salt and pinto beans. You don't want to have any. A lot of times they put garlic and stuff inside there. Just straight up pinto beans. That's what you want. And you want to drain the water out of these guys, put them in your pot. And then now I'm going to show you the secret ingredient to making perfect refried beans. So we have 3 cans of pinto beans inside here. I'm going to add some salt to this. Okay. That looks about right. I'm going to taste it a little bit later. I don't want to put too much. It looks like a lot, but it really isn't. And then the secret to great refried beans, and you're going to freak out when I say this, but people from Mexico, people that fucking Mexican, they know what I'm saying is fucking absolutely true. The secret is lard. You got to put some type of lard inside your refried beans. But you guys may remember this from my bacon. I've got bacon grease. That's even better. And so I'm going to put some bacon grease and some lard in this. And then after these start heating up, that's when I'm going to go ahead and crush them with my same thing I was using, my masher that I was using for my mashed potatoes to mash these guys up. And that grease adds a huge amount of flavor and consistency, and that really is the secret to really good refried beans. If it's not enough, I'll add some regular lard. That other lard if I don't use it in my food, you're going to love it, because a little bit later on I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with that, plus the fucking cigarette ashes, not cigarette ashes, the ashes from the grill that I started mixing up, and I started making potassium hydroxide. You're going to get a kick out of it, because it's going to blow your mind. What are you going to do? All right, so let's go ahead and let this stuff heat up a little bit. I'm going to add my bacon grease to this, and then squish it as soon as it starts getting hot. So I put about a quarter, maybe, of a cup total of lard and bacon grease. Now, the bacon grease is going to add a lot of flavor to this, and these beans aren't really hot yet, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to just keep kind of smashing these guys, and when they get hot enough, if I just keep smashing, I know it's not the same smasher I used for the mashed potatoes, but come on, give me a break. This is YouTube. But I'm just going to keep kind of working these, and that lard is going to melt. It's going to make this have a very smooth, creamy texture for the refried beans. And you can see the meat right there. The meat's doing pretty damn good. Look how much meat there is. That's tons. There's tons in there. And it's cheap, right? If you do it right. I just tasted the meat. The salt is just fine. A little spicy, so if you're a person that doesn't like spice, you know, maybe not use the jalapenos and stuff like that. But other than that, everything's fine. We're going to keep this going. I'm going to keep smashing these and turn this into a nice paste, basically. A little bit later on, I'm going to grate some cheese in this, and then we're going to be ready to end up making some tacos, or you can use this for a burrito filling. Okay, you got FX in the background. You know I'm an FX guy. But so here's our beans, and now we're going to add cheese. It's like a deja vu. So we got our cheddar inside here. Now you typically, one of the best cheeses to use if you're going to end up doing Mexican food is a Longhorn cheese. You can, a lot of times in Arizona, you could definitely find that. Or if not, maybe like a Colby. A Colby is good too. But we want to put that cheese inside there, and we're just going to keep mashing it up, let that cheese melt, okay? And we're going to have a very creamy refried bean. And that's what it's all about, you know. I mean, if you're going to do this stuff right, you might, you know, come on, you can't scrimp. You got to do this. You got to do this shit right, guys. Especially, like, let's say you're dating like a Mexican chick and she's like used to Mexican cooking. You can't sit there and invite her over for Mexican food and give her some bullshit Taco Bell. You got to give her stuff she goes like, oh my god, this is just as good as my mother's, if not better. Then you own that shit, right? So I'm gonna keep mixing this, and we're gonna have a fantastic refried beans. When making tacos or burritos or anything like that, the herb of choice is cilantro, depending on who you're talking to. So if you want to add some green to this afterwards, make sure it's fresh and stuff. You know, you cut the leaves off, put that on your taco, put that on your burrito, whatever. It's going to add some stuff. You can also end up putting some lime juice. Lime helps out quite a bit. It's really, you know, everybody has their own way of eating Mexican food, if you will. But you're going to end up finding that sometimes, you know, people want to put a salsa. Now, if you're going to be putting a salsa, I might have to do a video in the future how to make a perfect salsa, right? Or pico de gallo or whatever that they end up calling it. But don't get stuff like this in a jar, like paste picante sauce. Don't do that, because you're ripping yourself off, man. That stuff's no good. I'll show you in the yeah, it looks like I'm going to have no choice. I'm going to have to do a future video on how to make some perfect salsa. So this is a trick. If you're going to do corn tortillas or flour, what you do is you heat up your burner here, and then you just throw the tortilla on top of it. And you let the fire here burn up, or toast, I guess you can say, the tortilla that you're using, or, you know, if you're from Salvador, tortilla, whatever. And you want as soon as you start seeing some bubbling and stuff, and you start seeing some charring on the other side, you can typically smell it. That's when you turn it over, and that's when you're going to have like a really awesome tortilla to use for your whatever. Like if you're going to do a burrito, if you're going to end up doing like a taco, that's pretty much what you do. See, we're starting to see some bubbling, and that's pretty good. But I'm going to let this set a little bit more. I'm going to wait till I can smell that toasted corn smell. I can't have flour tortillas. That's why I'm using corn right now. See, because if we grab this and we look underneath it, it's close. And we do that. And that's what you're looking for right there. And I'm going to do the same thing to the other side, and then I can use this for a tortilla. So we have our tortilla here. I'm going to grab some of the meat and throw some meat right there. Grab some of the refried beans. Let me bring over here because it's not easy doing this just like with one. Get down, Luna. Grab some refried beans. I'm kind of doing this in a weird way. Put some cheese on that motherfucker. And don't use lettuce. Use cabbage. Use coleslaw. Like use the coleslaw stuff. Use this on your tacos. Don't use lettuce. And that, my friends, is a real hardcore taco. Look how big that is. That's exactly what we're looking for. It got cheese, it's got the coleslaw, it's got the meat, it's got everything on there. You want to put sour cream, you put sour cream. I want to put some sour cream. I tried throwing some sour cream on there, and you can see that it kind of did in 3 different spots. But that's what it's all about. I got a manly taco here. I'm going to enjoy this shit. And I'm going to tell you right now, this is the type of meat you want to use for your burritos. This is the type of meat that you want to use for your tacos. Yeah, and you can add onion, you can add garlic. I can't have it. You can add black pepper. I can't have it. Some people add nutmeg. I don't agree with it. Okay, but it's out there. Some people add allspice. I don't agree with it. You know, this a little, and maybe like for this much meat, maybe 1 whole onion, maybe about 2 or 3 cloves of garlic. It's more than enough. If you're going to do the garlic, you can do it with the meat. Onions I typically don't put in until about the same time as I put in the bell peppers, right? This stuff is awesome. This is for real Mexican meat. This is going to be a for real taco, and I'm going to be making a whole bunch of these and enjoying the shit out of them. So anyway, guys, until next time, I will talk to you later.